So, welcome everybody. I am Jamie Shapiro. Like I like to tell people, I'm the founding fairy of Silver Linings Transitions. And for those of you who are joining me today, we do senior move management, home organizing, and we also do photo organization and digitization, which a lot of people don't know that we offer. What I'm really excited about today is that many of you don't know that we have a real estate partnership with a lot of realtors throughout San Diego, offer different specialties and offer different things to our clients that really make their lives better. And all of them agree to cover Silver Linings Transition Services out of their real estate commissions. And the client always asks, well, doesn't that cost more? No, it doesn't. This is really the realtors, recognizing the value that a move management company offers and agreeing to discount their commissions to cover those costs. So with that being said, I want to get started, give you a little overview of what we do, and then open the floor up and introduce Jack. So about Silver Linings Transitions, I started the company 10 years ago. I'm super proud of our service. We are 5-star rated. We are also accredited with the Better Business Bureau, and we have received the Diamond Service with NASM. And if you are not working with a certified senior move manager or a member of the National Association of Senior Move Management, and now it's called Specialty, Senior and Specialty Move, I would absolutely encourage you to talk to me and learn why it matters. We have a lot more training when it comes to working with a very stressful time in their lives, and this move is can be very stressful, and they really need somebody who can guide them through the process. So what do we do as senior move managers? Well, we start with a floor plan. We help them figure out what they're going to take with them. And then we also help them figure out what they're not going to take and what we're going to do with everything that they don't take, which is oftentimes the very overwhelming process for them. We take care of everything that they aren't keeping by either helping them to sell it, arranging for the donation, or taking care of a liquidation. And then we handle all of the logistics. So we bring in movers that we've vetted and work with on a regular basis. We coordinate all of the logistics with communities, with the placement professionals, and we also refer realtor partners like Jack, who is here today. And we also can prepare the home. So we are really getting them through the entire process. So from the moment that they've walked into your doors or you've met with them as a placement professional, we can hold their hand and guide them through the process. But what's really great is that we're communicating with you, we're communicating with the realtor, we're communicating with family if they're involved, and just really reassuring them that they're on the right track and we are here to help. We handle all of the supplies. We do the packing, we do the unpacking. And those of you who've worked with us know that we actually use bins so that we are really trying to reduce the environmental impact of moving. And then we are organizing, hanging pictures, and really making places look beautiful. And then when we partner with realtors, all realtors offer the traditional sale. Jack is, I think, our only realtor partner that offers everything on this list. So the traditional sale, a renovate to sell, where we actually update the house. And what's great is they need to move into a community to have those renovations happen. So it sort of moves them along a little bit quicker. And then we can actually fix the house up, because in this market, with interest rates being what they are, a lot of people don't have the extra cash to renovate the house. And then there are also investors who will buy the home as is. We work with realtors who will find those investors. And then we're going to be talking today about property management. So I'm going to let Jack go into that. And then, there are people who are looking at doing creative things like seller financing. And that is another thing that is offered. All options include Silver Linings Transitions services. I say free or heavily discounted because if it's a $300,000 house, obviously we're not going to be able to. Thank you for coming on screen, Teresa. We're not going to be able to provide the entire move for free, but they will get a discount. And, I'm going to also let you know why it matters to go through Silver Linings Transitions and let us refer you to the realtor. So we make a referral fee when we refer you to the realtor. That is legal because I actually am a licensed realtor. That was the career that I had when I got cancer 20 years ago, and I have kept my license. And that's a win for the client, and it's a win for Silver Linings Transitions. It allows me to employ full-time people. 3 of our 4 full-time employees are single moms, so they rely on that income and the steady paycheck even when we don't have work, and that is supplemented by those referral fees. The referral fees pay for additional training for our team members, a lot of things that we don't get to cover in just our normal expenses. All of our team members get paid days off. That includes the part-time workers. Then everybody gets sick days. So this all has to come from somewhere. And I'm really grateful to the realtor partners who pay that referral fee and to you who make that referral. So if you say, yes, I want to work with Jack, what I am asking you, and Jack understands this, is to come through Silver Linings Transitions, allow us to make that introduction to the realtor so that is where that referral fee gets passed. So hopefully that explains it. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Jack and then go from there. So thanks, Jack.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for having me on today. I really appreciate the opportunity to share this information with everybody. First off, I want to reiterate with Jamie how valuable the services that she brings are. Being in the real estate side of the business and also being in property management, I've firsthand seen that if she's not a person who's hands-on involved in doing that, that's something that our team ends up having to take. And when you get involved with seniors in particular, it's a pretty big component of being successful in the transaction. So Jamie, I applaud you for taking on the task of working in this specific niche and being so good at it. So thank you, and for having me today.
Thank you.
So just a little bit about me, a little bit of background. I am the owner, one of the owners of Three Keys Property Management, and I've got a real estate broker's license, and I have SRES, which is a senior real estate specialist designation. And I know that seems like a broad name or title, but a lot of people don't recognize that designation is only earned by less than 1% of real estate agents in San Diego County. So these people who have the designation do have a very specific training and skill set that allows us to cater to the senior market and have a certain level of patience and also respect for what it is that they're working through. So anyhow, I started Three Keys Management specifically at the request of my clients. I've been selling real estate for a little over 32 years, since 1992. I've been licensed as a real estate agent. I spent about 10 years of that in finance and mortgage, and then have also, in addition to that, alongside of both those professions, done about 7 years of construction and renovations, which have kind of led me to a broad epiphany that hit me about 7 years ago when I was working with one of my senior clients, and I sat next to them and listened to what it was they were looking to accomplish. And they hit me with a broad variety of questions. And it was the moment that I realized that I have just a huge heart for seniors, for one, and for two, the skill sets that I've earned over the years of being in the industry have positioned me in a really unique place where I don't need to sell anything at all. In fact, being able to offer all the different options I do through the variety of different teams that I operate with, both the real estate team, property management, finance, renovating properties, allows me to really lay out all of the options that are needed for a senior to make an appropriate decision that's best for them. And it's neat to not have to feel like I need to push them one direction or another, to suit my personal interests or suit the business interests, or selling one product or another. It's neat to be unbiased, sitting in front of somebody with sincere want to help. And that is the one place, if I had to put my finger on my superpower, that is it. So that being said, we've got an experienced property management team that has been in place. We've been, our lead property manager that works hands-on with the properties and the tenants. She's got a little more than 23 years of experience specifically in this position. So, and then we have a really proficient group of support staff that's behind that, managing all the accounting and the rest of the details. But just so you should know, this is information I know that most of you are aware of. Nationally, about 50 to 70% of seniors are going to be seeking senior communities to improve the quality of life and care. Transitioning, there's two big components, and that's the finance piece. And then the emotional is a really important component as well, that is usually the one thing that hangs up transition more than anything. And renting out a property really can help folks with that transition, not only seniors, but also their families. It services a lot of different pieces, and we'll continue on to discuss that. Next slide there.
Okay, there you go.
Perfect. So, the major obstacles most people are facing, the financial burdens of senior community fees, information gathering, really the ability for somebody to put together the information to feel like they're making an informed decision and have the confidence in moving in one direction. Also, there's typically family that's involved in these types of decisions, which adds more ideas, more thoughts, more questions to the process, which can slow it down and or grind it to a halt. Also, physically preparing a home for rent is a daunting task. And then, of course, managing the property and understanding what that component looks like after getting it all together, what the costs are associated, what that process feels like and looks like. And then, of course, the emotional attachment that goes along with parting from a family home or moving into a situation that they're not familiar with and dealing with their personal belongings and so on. So benefits of renting out your home, there are quite a few. First, I should say that renting out a property is not a one-size-fits-all solution for everybody. And one of the first goals is to meet with the clients and have an opportunity to kind of assess whether this is the right approach for them, and actually share with them a couple other ideas along with the property renting to make sure that they're comfortable with the direction they're going. But should they choose to go with renting out their property, it does generate very consistent passive income. It does help to cover senior community costs. If going with a done for you type services like Jamie and all the preparation that can be done for the seniors, really reduces stress. And of course, one of the big components that holds seniors back is they're really concerned when they move into a community that either not happy with the personal relationships, or they're scared about leaving what they're comfortable with. And I've found, just even in conversation with family, that by keeping a home as a rental allows folks to feel comfortable that if they are not happy with the community they're moving into, that they have the option at least to move back to their property. And sometimes that little bit of confidence is what allows them to make the step forward instead of stall out in a tough decision. And then, of course, keeping a family, home for the family is a big deal. And then there's some tax benefits. Selling a property does have tax consequences, capital gains, ultimately. And by keeping a property helps alleviate some of those tax costs. And then, of course, there's some very advanced estate planning benefits that are involved with holding onto a property well, as the step up in tax basis when a senior does pass, that allows their family to inherit the property with a different tax basis, which saves a lot of from an estate planning standpoint. It's an extraordinary estate planning idea and concept that estate planning professionals put in place on it. So, as far as simplifying the process, Jamie, teaming up with her company, handles, a lot of the move manager piece, the pre-planning moving, as well as the physical moving, and then the post-move cleanup, cleaning up after and preparing it for the piece that we take over, which is stepping into the property management piece, which is, prepping the property for lease, whatever renovations or prep work is needed. Sometimes we do complete renovations, sometimes they're just partial, but we'll assess that with the homeowner and then come to a conclusion as to what's needed. But usually when Jamie's done it, will get handed off to us in exactly the condition we need it, so we can, step into it sprinting. Then, of course, secure real estate financial planning ensures that the senior as well as our team are together on what it is that they're going to be netting from the rental. And that way the seniors, by the time they move into their community, have the ability to really focus on their life, you know, their individual pursuits, and not have the stress or the burden of dealing with the departure of the property.
All right.
So as far as paying for the move and home preparation, there's a lot of options here. First off, property management has no out-of-pocket costs, meaning that for the management fees and the costs associated with taking over and managing the property, everything comes from the rents that are paid by the tenants. So there's no advance fees or anything like that that are paid up front for management. And in most cases, even when there's renovations or costs associated with preparing the property for rental, future rents, we can use those to offset smaller and intermediate amounts, meaning, you know, if there's painting or there's like a roof that needs to be replaced or some basic repair things, there's ways that we can give advances on the rents that'll be paid in the future to cover those costs. Now, of course, depending on the property and the circumstances, if the amounts are larger, there are long-term loans that we could help them organize that are specific to rental property owners to help cover bigger expenses. So for whole house renovations or other large expenses, if it's something that the family or the estate's not prepared to deal with these larger amounts, then those can be done in terms of loans and then be scheduled over a longer period of time to help cover those costs for the homeowners. So, and then, you know, most importantly, just let us know what your specific needs are. Whatever that is, we are equipped and deal with regularly helping folks manage this transition of putting properties into management. And everybody's situation is a little bit different depending on who they are. But really the options are quite flexible depending on what specifically you guys are looking to accomplish. So I wanted to go through a couple real life examples. Here's 3 properties that I wanted to share. The first one's a very simple one. This one was in Fallbrook. It's about 1970 square feet. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. And the process for this one's quite simple. Really, there was an organization process which was helping just to reduce, declutter. The mom had already actually moved out of the property, and so in a lot of the property had already been removed. So the decluttering and organizing was really minimal. But once we actually had it all out, we went through simple paint where we advanced the funds for the paint work. We put it into management, and within 90 days from when we started the process to when we placed a tenant, had somebody in there, the owner is now receiving on a monthly basis after management expenses about $35.46 a month is what they're receiving after management expenses and fees. The next one here, it came to us a little less simple than the last one. This was a gentleman who had been living, this is his lifetime home. He'd been there for, I want to say 40 or 50 years. And, you know, as his health situation was getting more and more challenging, his ability to keep up with care of the home, as well as in the updates, was getting quite daunting. So we went and consulted and actually went through this property with him. This one was 1653 square feet. It was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in Carlsbad. This one we went through and had to go through, like Jamie's process to describe and help identify which items he was going to take with him into his new community, then determine what stuff could be sold by estate sale, and then helped to, sell off what we could and then donate a large majority of what was still there. So that whole process took place and then was delivered to us in a way where we were ready really to clear out the property and do a lot of demolition. We replaced a lot of the cabinets, we replaced countertops, pretty much everything as you can see, all the bathrooms got remodeled. And in this situation, in 180 days is what it took us. Mostly in 2 months of that was actually deliberation. He was considering selling the property versus renting it. At the end of the day, he decided that keeping the property for his estate and his future family was a better route for them because they could continue with income, indefinitely. The cost of the renovation was about $97,000, and he ended up after all of that netting $4,278 a month is what he's regularly receiving as income on this property. And pleased to say, because the property is in great condition after it's been renovated, generally there's no problems with fixtures or plumbings. We just don't. It's virtually a maintenance-free property for the tenant and for the owner, making it a more profitable investment. This next one is up in Oceanside. In this particular situation, mom had already moved out of the property, but still everything was left behind in a way that needed to be dealt with. And so again, that same process went through where the decision was made. What needed to be, what could be estate sold, what could be kept, needed to be organized. Everything needed to be gone through to find those items that were of value to the family and make sure that those families' items got sent to them. And then the property, once it was emptied out, was turned over to us for a complete renovation. And in this particular case, after deliberation, the family decided that it would be best to sell the property. So in this particular case, we went ahead and did a full renovation on the property. And here's the after pictures. This property was up in Oceanside, 1648 square feet, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. And again, complete organization, renovation, and sale. So in this particular case, the cost was about $150,000 to do the renovation. It increased the value of the property somewhere in the ballpark of $280,000. Which was a net gain to the family of about $130,000, and it took 90 days from beginning to close. Pretty darn fast. So anyhow, that last example with the selling is just kind of illustrates that it's not a one-size-fits-all world out there, and my job really, I find my job is to help these families really determine what's best for their end objective. So, in summary, renting a property out has all sorts of financial benefits. It supports ongoing living expenses, and by teaming it together with Jamie in Silver Linings Transitions really helps to streamline this process for seniors in a way where it's very hands-off. They get to be involved in the piece of the decision-making where they, regarding anything that they're going to be taking with them into their community. And then the pieces that they don't need to be involved in that cause the process to slow or even screech to a halt, we can do a lot of those things without their direct, involvement and take that burden from them. The financial options are really flexible, so make sure you're speaking with us about what it is you're looking to accomplish, and we'll kind of help coach through the best ways to get to an end result. And of course, with the success stories that we have under our belt, it really does help illustrate how these families are benefiting from these decisions with renting.
Thank you. That was a lot. I want to let everybody breathe and see if there are any questions, because I know we presented a lot of information, but what I really like about what Jack offers, especially with the property management, is that it really is that safety net. I mean, I know when I meet with your clients, their concern is that this is an unknown, and most of us we don't like uncertainty, and this gives them an opportunity to explore it, and it doesn't have to be. Although I know that's not what anybody else wants, is for them to have that out. I think someone that really isn't happy is going to find a way out. And this is a much better way of them trying a senior community and recognizing, I think, once they get in, I'm sure that you all share this. It's, I wish I had done this sooner. It was so much better than anything that they had anticipated. But it's just being scared of the uncertainty. So does anybody have any questions?
If I could add real quick too, Jimmy, yeah. In all of the cases where we've had seniors move into a community and keep the rental because they're uncomfortable, we've not seen a single senior move back, is the point. And I think it is more just they're so comfortable in their own space with their own things. The thought of moving into a community is just the fear. And it's almost like it's so absolute and irreversible that it creates just an overwhelming stress. And by having that as an option, even if it's not one that we think would ever actually be done, it does give peace of mind and allows them to move forward. And if we can get one senior to move forward before they slip and fall or have an accident or something compels them to make, that move because they have to instead of they want to, then I feel like I'm winning. And that's what I'm after.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you for all of the positive comments. Like I said, I felt like this was just really worthy of getting the word out because it's another tool in your tool belt as senior professionals working really in the front lines with seniors who are making this decision. Does anybody have any other questions for Jack, or do you want me to move forward with the presentation?
So I don't have any questions thus far, but I did just want to say that I've already written down 3 clients' names that I feel like could possibly benefit from this already. So just thank you in advance for already sharing. That was it.
Thanks for being here, Brittany. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, Jack, should I move on to the next slide?
Yes. So in order to get started in a smooth transition, the first step is really, like Jamie had mentioned, feel free to reach out to Jamie, and then she and I can consult together with your clients and help assess both their home, right, as far as what is going to be required from the property to transition, as well as what the rental potential is. And once we've gone through that and shared and determined that that's the direction they want to go, then we kind of have to segue off into making sure that whatever plan with the rental and the bigger financial plan is a fit. Because the truth is, renting out a home, if the whole financial plan doesn't work, would not do them justice either. So then, of course, that's where Jamie kicks in with pre-move planning, and then, of course, moving into the community, which then frees up the property for us to do our work. Jamie doing all the move management, and then, of course, the property management coming in and helping them make the transition with confidence.
Yep. And then I also want to share to those of you in communities, if you wanted to invite Jack and I to speak to those people that are on your list, again, this is just another option for them. So, be thinking about that. Yeah.
The main objective is just to help seniors make this transition with less stress and make it a lot easier. And since our team does specialize in working with seniors and we have the management component, it does make the process easier. And we've worked with Jamie, and I know her work is quality. And together we really can deliver that that stress-free transition.
And I do want to share with people why come to Silver Linings to then refer to Jack so that you understand why it works that way, is that otherwise Jack doesn't know where the lead comes from. And, how we have it worked is, again, the referral fee is paid when the referral is passed. And if you don't go through Silver Linings and you've connected with Jack that way, then it's just our way of tracking it, and it's helpful for us. And then he knows, exactly how it came. So I haven't done a good job of clarifying that for people, why it's really important just to come to Silver Linings and then allow us to make that referral. But I am, really, really impressed with Jack. I have met his clients. You invited me to a client appreciation, and just an awesome guy. And I love, like I said, that somebody who has no skin in any direction, but really trying to identify what is right. And he's super creative, which is something that I really value. For those of you who have worked with me and know me well, see, Marianne, thank you for smiling. my superpower. Any other questions? This was, not the full hour, so I'm glad, that was able to present everything and get you guys out to enjoy some, maybe not screen time, but any other questions? Well, thank you all again for being here and sharing this on our website and sharing it out in the world, because like I said, I think it's really valuable information. And again, if you are interested in doing a talk with Jack and me, please reach out and we will go from there. So thank you so much, Jack.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And I'm just going to put my contact information up here so that for those of you who don't know it, although I think you all have it, you've got it. So I'm going to stop the share, and I am going to stop the recording and just say hi to everybody who showed up.